Coming up next, join Dr. Sherman Blackwell with Singing River Services.
Hello, this is Sherman Blackwell, and welcome to this week's program presented by Singing River Mental Health. Thank you so much for joining us today. As is the design of this program, an attempt to inform the community about things that are happening in behavioral health, mental health, substance abuse issues, and along with those with developmental disabilities, and to raise awareness. And of course, the more educated we are about the people that have behavioral issues or disabilities, we reduce the anxiety and the stigma, and we have so many great success programs that have integrated and reintegrated individuals into society. Not always doesn't happen 100% of the time. There's no particular silver bullet, but we are so delighted today to have Diane Easley on the program today, who has been hardworking in the community, been someone who just following along and seeing the challenges that she's facing, helping restore human dignity and giving individuals an opportunity to get back into the workforce and their lives back, so to speak. Diane Easley is the director of Sue's Home. Diane, thank you for being here today.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Thanks for being here. Tell, even though I know that you've known in the community and a lot of good things that happen in the community, tell our audience how you got in the evolution to ending up where you are today. How you got into this?
It was quite a journey.
Okay.
I'm a registered nurse and have a master's degree in nursing, so I taught nursing school for a number of years, and really gravitated toward the mental health aspect of human interaction and clients, and even did some home health, and really saw family dynamics as so important and so critical toward helping someone get well and be able to function. After my career teaching in nursing school, I did some private consulting and management, and then was on the board of the Home of Grace, and ended up as the director.
Program.
Oh, it really is.
Yeah.
I ended moving from the board of directors to becoming the director of the women's program. And I did that for 9 years. And at that point, I thought I was retiring, but I don't apparently retire well. And literally started going to the local ADCs, the Adult Detention Centers, and doing life skills training and Bible studies. And what I saw there was a real revolving door of women that I really had worked with over a period of time, saw they had the skills to make it, but when they got out, went straight back to the street because there was very little there for them to go to. And so I incorporated in 2003 Community Care Network, which is the name of our nonprofit, and we began to develop transitional homes for women that they could go to. In the beginning, we primarily did serve women who had been incarcerated, but it has grown and developed into a home for women and women with children who find themselves homeless, whether they have been in treatment or possible incarceration, or in today's economy, there are many young women who find themselves homeless due to lack of employment. And so we have an environment that they can come into, stay with us 6 months or so. We work with them. We have an incredible group of volunteers. We're primarily volunteer driven. We do have part-time staff, and we're with them 24 hours a day.
Great.
Help them deal with learning to re-navigate, getting back into the mainstream of life.
Yeah, well, I can see why, you know, nursing was obviously not just a career, but a real altruistic component for you in helping folks. You hit on something in the first part of that. You talk about getting out and the system many times. Of course, I think there's no silver bullet when you're talking about particular illnesses or mental illness in particular, but you have to look at the system.
You do.
That's part of my training is systemic and looking at that, what's created. Of course, there's genetic things and there are propensities, and I understand all of that. However, it is important. You said that when they get out, many times, you know, there are no options for them. There's no support system. And so it's easy to retreat back to what becomes known to them.
Right.
As opposed to people don't like the unknown as a rule. And we were talking a little bit off camera about that. You know, you have chronic individuals and you have individuals that really get down on their luck, really need to, and this is just off the top of your head, there may not be any particular stat on this particular, but what I hear is you've been doing this about 10 years or so. Those numbers increased?
Oh, they're increasing drastically. We receive phone calls every week looking for bed availability, looking for a place for families to go. There aren't a lot of places that are able to house children also.
That's right.
And we don't house them unless we have a family, you know, a parent with them.
Okay.
But there's just very few places, and that is increasing a lot. A lot of single families, and like I said, they're on their own economically, so if things go south on them very quickly, they may be in a homeless situation.
Yeah. It is hard for us to put this all in a box today, particularly because you deal with, I guess you get many feeder bands that are certain. But let's go back and tell us, if you will, the process whereby we want to, of course, anyone that's watching this program, and if you have a number, we can give that number also, but you can call the number you see on the screen there and we can get you referred to Diane or one of her staff members. But give us, you use the term incarcerated, and as you know, with your training, many individuals who are incarcerated have some co-occurring substance abuse, mental illness kind of process. What is how do you determine, is there a litmus test for getting into Sue's home? What happens, and when they get there, what takes place?
Okay. We receive referrals from a lot of different agencies, pastors, law enforcement, mental health facilities, hospitals. I've had 2 calls this week from hospitals who have someone that when they get out of the hospital, they aren't going to have anywhere to go. So there's a lot of different reasons that people contact us. They can find us on the internet, or they can call Sue's house, which is 228-215-2662.
Okay.
And leave a message. We get back with them. We have an intake process and a pretty extensive assessment that we do, because we can't meet the needs of everyone, and we have a specific.
Oh, come on now.
We have a specific population we work with. And we're not a treatment program, but like you said, the majority of our clients, many of them have had substance abuse issues.
Yeah, being transitional, I guess, and we want to talk about the mentoring process or mentoring capacity.
We have 8 bedrooms, 5 bathrooms, 3 acres. We're out in the country, which is very unique. A lot of these kind of facilities are not necessarily always in good sections of town.
Right.
So
isolation is good.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
We did a lot of work getting all of the approval from the county and doing all the things we needed to do and we met all the neighbors, sat down with them personally and said, this is what we're doing. These are the kind of clients we serve. In order to come into the house, they have to be able to pass a drug test. We don't treat people with active addiction.
I got you.
And the ladies know I'll pop a drug test on them at any time because it's very important, especially with us having children there, that we be able to protect not only our clients but the neighborhood that has very graciously accepted us.
Absolutely.
And so they may be drug tested. They cannot have come in with violent crime history. And so we do a background check on all of the people that come into the house. Mm-hmm. Once they come in and they're accepted, they're assigned a primary staff person. We manage it on a case-by-case, case management basis. Someone works with them to help them decide, do they need employment quickly, or is it important right now that we get them maybe in a GED class so that they can not always have to repeat the kind of employment they've had.
Right.
If they need an education, that's real important.
Absolutely.
Real important. We find out what kind of life skills trainings they may have. We're really big on, we're beginning a new budgeting program because a lot of our ladies have kind of cash a paycheck, spend it, and wait for the next paycheck. Mm-hmm. And then you don't have any money saved up for an apartment or whatever you need to move to. So we try to help with that. Mm-hmm. We are a faith-based program, so we have Bible studies available. Mm-hmm. The ladies go to church on Sunday, but they can go to different places, and we want them to experience different forms of worship and see what fits their personality.
Sure.
And then we have people that come in and teach classes. We have volunteer counselors that come in and work with women one-on-one, and then we try to find mentors in the community who can maybe just come in and get to know someone, spend a little time with them, be there, go out in the playground, play with the kids, those kind of things. But they can stay with us 6 months or so.
I was going to say 6 months is
pretty standard.
Okay, yeah, pretty standard, mm-hmm. Yeah. So watching the process and, mm-hmm. and doing those kinds of things. My guest today is Diane Easley with Sue's Home, and we're going to make sure that you get all of the numbers if you'd like more information regarding Sue's Home or would like to talk with Sue about the availability of services there. You can certainly call along with the number that you see on the screen there. That number is available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you have inquiries about one of the current 40 different programs we have here at Singing River Mental Health, we'll be glad to get you that information. If you would like information about one about behavioral health issues and anything in the substance abuse, mental health, and developmental disabilities arena, we'll be glad to give you that information free of charge. We offer some free parenting classes and things along those lines, and we would like to send you one of our brochures and be glad to get you that information. There are a lot of changes that are happening inside the state of Mississippi, across the nation, really particular to funding and individuals that have mental health issues. We've seen a lot of that discussion on the news lately, mental health versus gun control versus this versus that. Well, it certainly starts with the individual, and we think that's very important. And so there are a lot of issues that are changing here in Mississippi, and we've tried to keep you abreast of those, and we're going to continue to do so. And we're delighted to have Diane Easley on the program with Sue's Home. We're going to cut away here, take a break, then we're going to come back and talk more about some things that are happening at Sue's Home and with Diane Easley.
You're watching Singing River Services with Dr. Sherman Blackwell. We'll be right back.
For diabetic footwear, Patton Medical is South Mississippi's leader for professional service and selection. Our certified personnel design a custom diabetic insert for every patient to maximize comfort and efficiency. And while others limit your choice of colors and styles, Patton Medical offers several lines of the most popular and highest quality brands. We gladly accept Medicare and most insurance. Patton Medical, we're proud to be right here, right now, for you.
With eyes wide open, we enter this world trusting in those around us that turn our dreams into reality. At Charter Bank, we know how important it is to earn that trust. Individuals, families, or business, Charter Bank has the tools you need to turn those dreams into reality. Checking, savings, retirement. Come home to Charter Bank, a bank that knows you by name. Step by step, one-to-one, that's how we measure success. Our name, Charter Bank. From Gulfport to Pascagoula, we're bringing the Mississippi Gulf Coast dreams to reality. Come home to Charter Bank. Member FDIC.
Whatever speed you want to go, one mower will match your pace. Personal Pace Technology. Another smart, simple innovation only from Toro. And cut your mowing time up to 40% with the new Toro Time Master wide area mower.
See Mazelle's Outdoors, Highway 57, Van Cleve.
Hi, I'm Paula Barlow. Come see us at our new location on Highway 63, just south of Highway 613.
The same staff to assist you, just a location. Same great service and Allstate insurance for auto, home, life, business, boat, motorcycle, as well as renter's insurance. See Paula, Tara, or Tolanda at Paula Barlow Allstate Insurance in Moss Point. Remember, you're in good hands with Allstate and Paula Barlow.
Hello, this is Sherman Blackwell, Executive Director of Singing River Mental Health. Thank you for joining us today. We're so excited about our guest today, Diane Easley with Sue's Home, a place for women and children from transition if they've had some bumps in life, and there seem to be more and more bumps happening in this economy and this time in which we live. And a lot of that has to do with a nexus of things, not the least of is the economic situation or the decompensation of the nuclear family and family, extended family even, as we have known it. And Sue's Home, Diane Easley is here with me. Sue's Home was, you had the governor down.
We did. We were very fortunate. Had a lot of people turn out because the governor was down, so that was good.
And that was great for the governor to come and do that and be a part of that. Community Care Network opened Sue Home for women and children. The first half of the program, Diane, we talked about the women, which is the obvious aspect of that, and how your referrals come from a lot of different areas, as you know, in a lot of different. Tell me, how do the children? And there's no one definitive answer. I know there's a lot of different, but when you say women and children, do the children automatically come? Sometimes the children are not under the care of the mother because they've been incarcerated, or sometimes maybe there's abuse and the child. Tell us what happens for the child on any
well, we
in
work
this program.
real closely with CASA, which are the court advocates for children, and sometimes we will get a call from a CASA volunteer who says, I have a family that we're really trying to work with these children and uniting them, but the family needs the stability of having someone with them to kind of teach parenting or help to parent that child in the beginning. So we get referrals from that type of thing for children. If we find that it's an appropriate setting, and we take boys under 13, and then girls of any age with their parent. Sometimes the children come with the parent immediately, with the mother, and then sometimes we may have a mother who's with us a couple of months as she's working to redevelop a relationship through the court ordered or whatever with her children. We have children who would just come on the weekend to begin with. so that we can kind of monitor the interaction, help model some disciplinary actions that are appropriate.
Okay.
Sometimes the kids have been pretty undisciplined, so it's very difficult. The house is set up that we literally have 2 living rooms, one that the children can be in with their mothers, and the other one for the women that don't have kids with them that need a little more quiet.
Okay.
So they can be separated there. We have a wonderful big home.
It's a real juggernaut.
It is.
Because, just maintaining that. It's interesting that, and we talked in the first half of the program, we've seen the numbers go up. And of course, there are individuals that we know, that we deal with, that you deal with, that are chronic and don't really make that threshold to make that change.
Right.
What is there anything? There's no one thing, but what are some of the things that you see in the success stories that you have that makes the difference in a woman's life and or a child's life?
I think one of the things that we've seen is helping them to develop a new support system. If a woman leaves our program, and many of them when they enter our program really have no support system, or if they do, it's pretty dysfunctional. And you ask enough people for advice and you'll find somebody who gives you the wrong advice that you want to hear. So we try to put them in new groups of people, introduce them to new support systems, and actually the women themselves become support systems for each other. They become each other's cheerleaders.
Okay.
You know, you can do this. Let's work. I know the kids are getting on your nerves, but let me take them for a few minutes. You go calm down. So I think helping them to develop a new system of people that can surround them. That's one of the reasons, being a faith-based agency, that we want to get them involved in a church that they feel comfortable. Because then they have people that can maybe come beside them and give them some relief. I mean, every young mother needs relief at times.
Absolutely. I have been long an advocate, and of course I believe in the professional side, of course, of dealing with clinicians, and we have psychiatrists, we have clinicians, licensed, and all that. But however, people that we see, a lot of times we see them after some nodal event. People want it fixed pretty quick. It doesn't happen that way. It didn't get that way overnight. Doesn't get fixed overnight. And I've been a real proponent of, the outside. There's so much you can do in a doctor session, in a clinical session. Of course, we have case management and those kinds of things. However, those are still limited. And to have the kind of support system that includes, I said, many times a barber can give you a lot of good advice, and and certainly a pastor or someone in the church family, a friend, someone that cares, and getting them to realize the difference in that, and taking ownership, I guess, a lot of it. And what I hear you saying too, Diane, we're talking about self-esteem, self-worth, because once you've been, for whatever reason, and I guess for any and all reasons, they come to Sue's home.
They do. A lot of different circumstances bring them to us.
Yeah.
But a lot of them have dealt with abuse issues, even going back to childhood. So we know we have to help them get in front of someone that professionally that can help them deal with that, but then to have those support systems.
Absolutely.
When it comes back up.
The support system and the tools to deal with, that's really what a clinician does, and it's good, and then medically, the best you can hope for medically is to bring just a homeostatic balance, and then you still have to deal with the day-to-day issues, as opposed to the escape mechanism that many times people use substances for to get out of. Now again, capacity is 10.
That's about
Is
average.
that right?
That's about
average.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You can you sustain
We can do
more?
more than that, but we try to keep it about that. But occasionally we may have a family that has 2 or 3 children.
Well, that's true.
And we have some rooms that can handle 4 people.
Right. Right.
So it just sort of depends.
If someone in our audience, you know, someone knows somebody that has been either a victim, part of that, or perpetrator, part of that, or a family member or a friend, if someone wants to help Sue's Home, how can they do that?
Well, we're a licensed nonprofit with the state, so any donations are tax deductible, and we depend on the local community. We're not one of those agencies that get big funding.
Right.
We depend on local contributors and churches and businesses. We've had, when we started this new home, which is literally our 3rd facility, but it's the first one we've owned. The other ones have been rentals, so we had to gut it down to the concrete and the studs, and everything in that house has been donated almost. All the work was done by wonderful local people that came in and did that. So we still have a lot of work that needs to be done. We're looking for volunteers to do the physical manual labor.
Right.
We had agencies and businesses that Blossomans donated all of our appliances. Other organizations came in and did things, but we do need financial help. We are looking for people that are looking for an organization and a ministry to donate to that see it making a difference.
Gotcha.
And we can give them the information they need for the taxes. We're always looking for vehicles, because when a woman's been with us for a while, she may have a job, but without adequate transportation.
Transportation's got to be a big part of that.
We spend hundreds of dollars a month on gasoline just getting people back and forth to appointments, doctor's offices, work. So those kind of things are very important. And we're looking for volunteers that would like to come out and work with the women and children. We have a training program for volunteers that we don't just bring them out and say, okay, go talk to someone.
Gotcha. Well, once again, we're under 30 seconds, but give us the number where they can contact you.
They can reach us at Sue's Home at 228-215-2662, or contact me at diane@communitycarenetwork.org.
Great. Diane, thank you so much for being here today.
We do appreciate it.
Well, we appreciate what you do, and you know, if it was easy, everybody would be doing it.
Right.
And because of the challenges and because of the investment, you know, life's tough anyway, and it's good to have supports like Sue's Home. So thank you for being here.
Thank you for having us.
This is Sharman Blackwell. Let me remind you of the number you see on the screen there. That number is available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We want you to know Singing River Services is here for over 40 years now to care about you, even though the changes that are happening in service delivery industry regarding mental health issues, we're still here and we're still for you. So give us a call if you'd like to talk to a mental health professional or just like some information about our programs. This is Sharman Blackwell. Thank you for joining us today. We're going to look forward to seeing you again next week with another special guest.